Okay, well, let's roll into our post-race for today's 44th Annual Good Sam Roadside Assistance 500 here at Talladega Super Speedway. And our race runner-up was Jeff Gordon. He drove the number 24 Drive to End Hunger Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. And Jeff, heard you out on pit road talking about the action there the last couple of laps, and you came out on the good end of it and certainly kept your championship hopes alive. And maybe just talk us through those that last lap or so here at Talladega.
Yeah, it wasn't looking real good there when we took the white flag. I'll be honest. I thought on the restart we had, we had to come in and take fuel, which was unfortunate. We had worked really hard to get ourselves up there, and you got to believe that there's going to be more than one green, white, checkered. Typically, so we had to come do that, and so we were in a decent position, still up there. What, about 10th or 9th or something? And I had the 5 in front of me and the 18 behind me. I was like, man, we're looking good. We just gotta get an opening, and this group is gonna run. But we took off, and I was pushing them from the start-finish line, and never stopped pushing them. And we weren't going anywhere. I have no idea. I have to go back and watch the video because I just don't understand what was stalling our line. But it just was not going anywhere. And then the middle lane, the outside lane, they were just trucking by us. We started making a little bit of ground down the back straightaway. We're like 4 wide, went into 3, and I saw smoke. And when I saw smoke, everybody checked up in a hurry. And I hit the 5, and I think the 18 hit me, and it just turned me right down to the apron and drove by pretty much everybody but the 17. So we got really lucky there, and like you said, keeps the championship hopes alive.
Thank you, Jeff. And we're also now joined by our third-place finisher in today's race. That is Kyle Busch. He drove the number 18 M&M's Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I just followed you.
Thank you.
Kyle, congratulations on a strong run here today. Maybe talk us through how things went out there today. You certainly had a very strong race car, led some laps, competed for the win, and talk about how things went today.
Yeah, it was a really good race car. Guys did a good job building that thing and bringing it out here and debuting it for a one and only race here today. That's the last race for this body style here at the restrictor plate stuff. So. Guys did a really good job on pit road. I made a mistake there early and got to pit road way too hot and was speeding there, so we got a lap down, but fought hard all day and made that back up, got back on the lead lap, and then we were racing for the win there with everybody and got to behind Jeff, who was behind the 5, who was behind the 15, and I was quarter throttle running all over the 24. We just weren't going anywhere, and the outside lanes were kind of going by us, and then got to turn 3 and the wreck ensued. So hopefully Tony's all right and everybody that got banged up there, but turned Jeff just enough that turned me, and we got through there all right. So it's good to come out of here unscathed and have a car in one piece.
All right, we'll take some questions now for Jeff or Kyle. If you have one, we'll start in the middle here with Tom, then we'll go over to George. Please raise your hand there. Let's get him the wireless, and then we'll go to George.
Hi, Tom Jensen from Speed.com. Congratulations, guys, for both of you. What's your reaction running out there at 190 miles an hour and seeing all that?
I mean, do we have a choice? I guess we do, but I don't feel like I really do. It's just part of racing here at Talladega. You have to accept it. You have to know that you're going to be going through that at certain times during the race, but at the end for sure, especially with a green, white, checkered. You put a lot of faith in your safety equipment, and you just kind of white knuckle, hold on tight. I mean, I can't even describe to you. Kyle was describing it, I was describing it. It still just doesn't put into words what that is like. I mean, I don't know how we made it to the white flag coming through that tri-oval, being hit from behind, hitting the guy in front of me. You're sandwiched in between. Basically, cars. There's cars doing the same thing on that side of you, cars on that side of them doing the same thing. I really don't know how we made it to the white flag. It was just insane. But you're just doing all you can to try to move your lane and hope that you make it back around. And in today's case, we did.
You guys knew it was coming, didn't you?
Oh, you got to believe that it's coming. You know, it always seems, yeah, pretty much. I mean, because what you know inside the car, certainly, but you might see it a little bit as well. You start seeing more cars getting out of control and losing some positions because the aggressiveness just goes up. I mean, you know, we understand we got to make it to the end of the race. There's certain times in the race where you feel like, okay, I'm going to be a little more aggressive here to try to get to the front. And so you'll see a little bit of that. But at the end, everybody's got that philosophy from the front all the way, you know, to the back. And I mean, you know, I almost lost in the front straightaway trying to get to the lead. I saw the 16 got sideways. The 51, you know, was being pushed by the one. He got sideways as I was outside of him. That was earlier. But at the end, you know it's going to get aggressive. And, you know, it started to ramp up. So you're pretty sure there's going to be a caution. And then with the green, white checker, I mean, you know you're not making it back to the checkered. You're wondering if you'll make it to the white. You know you're not going to make it back to the checkered without there being a wreck.
George.
Yeah, George Diaz back here in front, or Orlando Sentinel. For both of you guys, and you touched a little bit upon this, Jeff, but Junior was saying he just does not like this style of racing. Too many people are bunched up. You know the inevitable is going to happen. Is there anything that can change the dynamics of this? And, you know, I know we've gone back and forth with the plate restrictor plates. And do you guys, I mean, do you guys enjoy this kind of racing?
George, come on. You want to take that one?
Nope.
The older elder statesman has to take that one.
Yep.
I remember when coming to Talladega was fun. I really do, and I haven't experienced that in a long, long time. You know, I don't like coming here. I don't like, you know, the type of racing that I have to do. But if I'm a fan, I would love that. I mean, I think it is incredibly intense. It's wild. It's crazy. You're going to see the, you know, and so that's sometimes that balance that NASCAR has to deal with, and doesn't mean I don't have to be happy, you know, and be all excited about coming to Talladega. I don't expect that, but I do remember times when the draft and the thought that you had to put into it, the you know, the strategy, the working the draft and the cars and the lines was fun. You know, you had some room in between the cars, and you had to use the air instead of the bumper, and you know, to me, you could still come from middle of the pack to first on the closing laps, but you just how you did it was different, and it just certainly wasn't what I mean. That literally is bumper cars at you know, I don't know, almost 200 miles per hour, and I don't know anybody that likes that. I mean, maybe Kyle does. I don't know. He might want to talk about it. I think he really likes this kind of racing. This is for the young guys, man. This is not for the old guys like me.
Who had the next question? I think Don Coble did.
Did I miss anything?
You're doing pretty good.
Go ahead, Don.
I'm back here. I'm Don Coble from Morris News Service. For either one of you, did you see on the white flag lap, Matt going from the middle lane all the way across, running into the 15 and then coming back across? Did you see that? Were you surprised by that?
I don't know why I did it. All I saw was text 50555. That's all I saw.
Yes, that's perfect.
I can't answer that. I have no clue what the 17 car did. You watch TV, so.
My sponsor's gonna love you, man. Thank
Jeff,
you.
did you happen to see that?
Oh no.
You saw HendrickCars.com.
Yeah, I saw
didn't you?
HendrickCars.com. You can't see anything but the bumper in front of you.
You can't see.
You know, and you don't have a move. You know, it's not like you can sit there and say, okay, I'm gonna switch, go to the outside. You got no moves, man. You're just sitting there pushing that car in front of you as hard as you can. And I couldn't see. I couldn't tell you what was happening right in front of us. So I certainly couldn't have told you that was happening. But that explains maybe why our lane wasn't moving.
Ed Hinton. Let's give Ed the mic, please.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. I guess the first part of my question is kind of lost as far as what you guys could see, but I don't know if you know, but Tony took 100% blame for, he said he cut down across Michael, you know, trying to protect position and all. So if either of you guys saw any of that, I'd be interested. But when you get a guy as skillful as Tony Stewart on places like that, and he leading the race, acknowledges causing this massive pileup. Is that even more of an indictment of the way the racing is going here, like y'all were talking about? Is that just add to your kind of stating the case for the craziness of it?
Kyle doesn't seem to want to take any of these questions. First of all, yeah, if you just isolate it to the move, I did see it. If you just isolate it to that, I mean, he got the lead, but then he had nobody. Somehow they went outside of him, and they were coming. There's no doubt. The 55 was coming hard, and the 13, I believe, was pushing him, and they were going to go right by him. And he just made a late move, and unfortunately, it turned himself and caused a big wreck. But when you look at the bigger picture, is that really what caused it? Because this type of racing, that and the way the aerodynamics are and the power is on these cars, that's what happens. Is when you lose that momentum, you lose a ton. I mean, you're going backwards in such a hurry that, and the other guys are coming forward in such with so much momentum. It's inevitable that those types of things are going to happen. You're trying to judge making that move, but it's almost impossible to judge it because they're coming so fast. And that's aerodynamics, that's power, that's just the nature of the type of racing that we have right now at Talladega. And so I wouldn't. Tony's a guy that takes blame, for things, and you got to respect him for that. But I think there's a little more to it.
Al Pierce.
Yeah, Al Pierce from Auto Week. I know it's a risky assumption to assume that both of you men will make the chase next year. I know it's, but this race next year is 2 weeks later, leaving you far fewer chances to make up in the chase for something like what happened today. Does the fact that this is a later race next year concern either one of you?
You're taking that.
Well, I think it was a later race last year, last year it was a later race, so it's only moved just because of Kansas and their repave and stuff like that. So same thing happened last year, so it'll just be back to normal, that's those air quotes that Michael Waltrip hates. But
does it really matter when this race?
No, it doesn't, to be honest with you. Yeah, it gives you a little less opportunity to rebound. Maybe puts a little bit more pressure on some guys, but it's always been later in the year, so it's always been a chase race. So I don't foresee that going away.
Let's go, Bran, and then gentleman right up here by me has a question. Go ahead.
Bran Strickland, Anniston Star. Jeff, you said it's been a while since you've had fun at Talladega. Also, it's been a while since Talladega's been full. There were some sizable gaps out there. Is there any correlation to, I know the economy gets a lot of the blame for the attendance and things like that, but do you think it also has, the attendance is being hurt by this style of racing?
Now, from an entertainment standpoint, they should be lined up out to the highway out there. I mean, that I don't get at all. That makes no sense to me. So there's got to be something more to it because, if I'm a race fan, I want to see 2 and 3 wide racing all day long, passing back and forth. I want to see guys shoving one another. I want to, see the big one at the end of the race. And because guys are being so aggressive, and knowing that is not something that as a fan you could ever imagine putting yourself into, and sort of defying danger. So why they're not lined up out to the highway is beyond me, because I think they should be. The gaps in what?
Huh?
I didn't see many today, I'll be honest. Not from where I was sitting, because I raced all day long. Even though I fell back, I never said, okay, I did save fuel for about 8-10 laps because the team asked me to during one. But other than that, I pushed every single lap, and I saw everybody else trying to do that too. And now guys have learned, that, all right, if you can just push for maybe a lap and a half or 2, even though you blow some steam off, you can get up there and get to the front. So I remember, early on, I did that with Casey. I think I did it with also with Casey Kane and Casey Mears, and then all of a sudden here they come doing the same thing to us. So I moved up to the inside lane, and then next thing I know, we're running 10th again. So, I saw a great racing throughout the day. I didn't really see that. So, but I have no idea. I'm only really paying attention to what's going on within my own race and around me. But I thought it was pretty exciting all day.
Right here, front row. Go ahead, sir.
And if it is, then they just shorten the race, because all it really is a 20-lap shootout anyway. So they could shorten the race. There won't be as many lulls.
Roger Holtzclaw, SpeedwayMedia.com. Now that we've thoroughly discussed the type of racing we do here, can both of you just take a minute to talk about the performance of your team today?
You want to go first?
No.
You want me to go first?
Man. I've been talking too much.
Need some water?
I got some Pepsi.
Our day was pretty good. I mentioned it earlier that, we had a really, really fast race car, and we drove up towards the front a few times, and were able to make the outside lane move a couple times. We pushed Junior to the lead earlier today, and then there was a time where I think we were coming, it was green flag pit stops, and I just did not get woed down near fast enough for the first segment, and I got busted for speeding. So that was my fault, and then we had to battle through that. That was probably one of the most tense part of the races for me, was having to race for the lucky dog or get back on the lead lap. I probably led more laps at the front of the field without leading those laps because I was the tail end guy, So, but all in all, our guys had some good pit stops, and we gained some spots. We had some fuel only stuff going on. So, typical Talladega day. Just glad and thankful that I was able to get out through there with no damage and make it through unscathed.
Yeah, our team did awesome. We had a fast race car, awesome race team, great pit stops, great calls. From this team standpoint, it was a great day.
Let's go to the press box question. Go ahead.
Rick Minner from Racing Today for Jeff.
What's that?
You finished second, third, and second in the last 3 weeks, but I think you've only gained 5 points on the leader. Is that frustrating to you?
After today, yeah, it's a little frustrating. Our team is doing a great job. We've been performing really, really well, and we can sit there and really get mad about what happened in Chicago, but the reality of it is all we can do is go each and every week and just keep trying to put ourselves in position to win and get top fives, and it's not over yet. It's certainly not over yet. So see what happens if we keep doing this. I really think that we might have a shot at it.
Any other questions, press box?
Lee Spencer, Fox.
Did you make up points today?
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. For either one of you, do you think with the new car coming, if it'll have any effect on the racing, or or are we just going to be prone to this whenever we come to Talladega and Daytona?
Were you here testing?
I wasn't here testing, were you? We weren't here testing, so not a question, I guess, either of us have any experience at. I haven't driven the 2013 car at a restrictor plate track.
It's going to be awesome.
Next question, press box.
Oh, yeah.
Start buying your Talladega tickets now.
Monty Dutton, Gas and Gazette.
Daytona 500 tickets.
And Daytona 500.
Go ahead.
Monty Dutton.
Yeah.
Kyle, I know one had nothing to do with the other, and I know this might be just a weekend in the life of Kyle Busch, but many of us were following your exploits in another wacky race last night. And was this at least an unusually, original weekend for you, considering the mess in Nashville last night and the mess at Talladega today?
Well, it's a good thing I went to Nashville to go get my bad luck out of the way, so I didn't end up looking like Tony Stewart today. But besides that, it's just a typical weekend of Kyle Busch's year. Leading the race 5 laps short of a rain-shortened event, and then they send us back green, and I blow a left rear tire and wreck. So, just continues on. Just stay late models last night. So just stay away from the 18 car for the rest of the year.
Any other questions, press box?
No further questions.
Back down here, anybody else?
Mr. Chase, I got nothing else better to do.
We got Marty. Marty back in the back left.
Marty Smith. I'm not sure if you were asked this, Jeff, and I want to get Kyle's perspective too because of the crazy save you had in the Daytona 500. On these types of tracks, when somebody gets a crazy run on you, I think the 88 is who got the run on you today and turned you completely sideways at 200 and however many miles an hour. after you save it, what is that moment like when you realize that you're not going to?
Well, let's clarify this first. That happened because Jamie McMurray's car is as wide as that racetrack out there. I've never seen anybody run so many lanes in my life. You know, he does a great job staying up front. It's amazing how he stays up front. But I guess it's because he just moves so wide that you can't pass him. So I had the 88 had a run pushing me. I mean, we were just pushing. He didn't have a run on me. We were just pushing. And I'm sitting there going, which way is he going to go? Which way is he going to go? And so he started to move left, so I go up to go around him. He decides not to go down, and at that point, I'm having to put wheel into it, and all the 88 can see is my rear bumper. You know, text 5055. And so I did go sideways, but you know, and I mean, he was doing that all day long, you know, and I mean, I don't know. It seems to work for him, so I guess he's going to keep it up, but it about cost us today. So, I mean, yeah, it went sideways, and I thought for sure I was around, and it caught. Thankfully, I think for that shark fin, I think that must have done it, and straightened me back out, and Junior got off of me, and we went back racing. So, you know, I caught my breath there for a second, and you know, then I was like, okay, let's go back racing again.